Hi, my name is Ronnie Kress. This is Chapter 16. It includes discipline, including the Code of Ethics, social media, and hazing. For the textbook, I chose the case of the City of San Diego versus John Roe. The facts of this case were, as a San Diego police officer, he was involved in some online eBay auctioning stuff of explicit videos, sexual videos that he was performing different things in. And one of his police sergeants was searching things online and ended up coming across this video and other things that he had for sale. The sergeant reported the information, it was investigated, and it ultimately led to his termination. The gentleman appealed the case and went all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court confirmed and agreed with his termination. The relevancy of this is public employers are held to different standards, especially when it comes to free speech, and fire departments and other government employers have a right to reasonably restrict the free speech of firefighters when that free speech has a detrimental effect on the department. Even though as a police officer, obviously this can happen to a firefighter just as easily, and they could be put in the same situation. We just got to be careful what we do, even when we're off duty. For the recent case, I chose the People versus Jared Davis Evans. This was about a Sacramento firefighter, actually paramedic. I'm not sure if he was a firefighter or not, but he was found guilty of felony assault. He was in the back of an ambulance where his 19-year-old was having a seizure, and they thought that she was possibly unconscious. The gentleman, paramedic, reached into the girl's shirt and pulled out one of her breasts and I guess fondled it in a way. There's also an intern that was on scene, and the intern came forward a couple weeks after the incident to report what had happened. So then obviously he was investigated, and the guy was ultimately charged. Relevancy of this is when firefighters or any public servant are called, we're trusted more than anybody. We're strangers going into people's houses, and they expect us to be trusted. And he basically tarnished his career. It was a bonehead mistake, and it's not only embarrassing for him, but it's also embarrassing for his family, for the department, and everybody else in the city that he works for. For the current event, I chose Miami Township EMT and wife accused of abusing child for years. This is just a recent case back in early March when this happened, and it has to do with a guy named by the name of Anthony Dangle, his wife Amy. They were indicted and jailed in a child abuse case. Amy was also an EMT. I think she was a paramedic actually, but I actually know Tony, and I've heard of Amy. I don't know her personally, but I know Tony personally. Wasn't friends with him or anything, but just recall seeing him on a bunch of runs because he worked for a neighboring department of mine. But Tony was a biological father of the child, and he's charged with 1 count of felony child endangering, basically stating that he knew about the abuse and didn't do anything about it. The case is obviously still pending because it's so recent, but obviously it doesn't look good for him. I know Miami Township already let him go. But the relevancy of this is I've known Tony for probably close to 20 years now. But a lot of the coworkers of mine knew him and his wife pretty well, and apparently Amy was an instructor in a recent, I don't know if it was a paramedic refresher class, but it was a pretty recent class that she was an instructor in. And it hit a lot of people hard at first because you can't believe 2 people that you know that you think are good people would actually do this behind closed doors. And I mean, like I said, you never know what happens behind closed doors. But it kind of shakes us all when that does happen, when you find things out about people. But now there's 2 individuals, they had promising careers, they're both over. I can guarantee it, they're probably not going to get a job anywhere around here anymore. If they get a job anywhere in the fire service, again, which is, Amy probably won't get out of jail anytime soon, so she doesn't have to worry about it. But who knows about Tony? But, their lives are basically ruined for lack of judgment. And, sometimes life gives you second chances, but in the fire service, a lot of times you don't get second chances.